It's almost like it triggers something in your subconscious, in your mind, where you feel clutter as well. And there's a direct correlation between physical clutter and your mental clarity.
Hello, dear listeners. It's that time again when we stroll through the paths of ambition, desire, and success. Welcome to the Dare to Declare podcast, where we explore the enchanting world of giant manifestors who turn their visions and goals into the stuff of legends. I couldn't help but wonder, how do some people create the lives they've always dreamed of? Is it the magic of manifesting, the power of perseverance, or perhaps just a dash of serendipity? Well, dear friends, grab your coffee cups because we're about to spill the tea on fascinating journeys of those who dare to dream big and make it happen. Join me as we sip on success stories and ponder the ever-enticing question, can we all manifest our dreams into reality, or is it just an urban fairy tale? I'm your host, Debbie Sluice, and I'm here to guide you through the labyrinth of achievement with heart and soul. Ready to dare to declare? Let's get started. Hey everyone, it's Deb Sluice. I am so excited to introduce today's guest. This is Dai, and Dai Smith is the owner and founder of Simplicity by Dai, LLC, the organizing and productivity consulting company that provides simple and organizing and productivity solutions for CEOs and high-achieving teams. She is an award-winning sales marketing professional who specializes in productivity and operational strategy through coaching and training workshops. As a 3-time author and international speaker who was recently featured on the Drew Barrymore show, she enjoys sharing her productivity and organizing expertise to help entrepreneurs live and be their full potential. She juggles marriage, motherhood, career, and entrepreneurship, and with that is the secret weapon for entrepreneurs and busy professionals who want to trade clutter and chaos for simple and organized. Welcome, Dai.
Thank you for that wonderful bio read. I'm so happy to be here to talk with the Dare to Declare community and to spend some more time with you virtually.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And so something that pops right out, and I'm sure the listeners are like, say that again, Drew Barrymore. What? Tell us a bit about how that came about. How did you manifest being on her show? And tell us a bit about that.
You know, last year I had an opportunity to be a virtual guest on the Drew Barrymore show. And Drew Barrymore is like so down to earth. Her show is all about, women empowerment and how we can, feel better about our lives and what we're doing. And so I've been a fan of hers. And so I had been in constant communication with her producers, just sending out, emails every 6 months or so to a few different people. And then I was just so determined at the beginning of last year to get media coverage for one of my events. So I just happened to send my, follow-up email, and the producers were saying that they actually needed someone who was a product organizing expert. And it just happened to be that I emailed them, like I was consistent. I was kind of probably getting on their nerves with my emails, and they just happened to need somebody. And I was like, well, tell me what you need. And I pitched some ideas to them, and then we recorded. And I'm telling you, the day that it aired, first of all, I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell anybody that I had done that, because I was like, I don't know if it's going to get picked up. And then once it did, I remember casually mentioning to my sister and my niece, they were visiting. I was like, oh, I'm going to be on the Drew Barrymore show. And they were like, what? Like, wait, what? And they were just overjoyed. And I was like, oh my gosh. So every time I told someone, I got that reaction. And man, it was definitely a highlight of my career, business highlight of the year. And one thing it taught me is not just the value of consistency, but it never occurred to me that I couldn't be on the show. So we talked about belief, right? And then looking back, it was like, this is how I'm going to do it. This is how it's going to work. Eventually, I just kept going, and it happened. So, yeah.
That's beautiful. Congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
And the lesson around persistence. Absolutely. And we talk about belief, talk about vision, and there's also the piece of action, which sometimes people don't talk about, or they just sort of think that manifestation just happens mysteriously and just kind of falls in your lap. But there is that persistence. But you had the persistence because, as you said, there wasn't another option. Like, this was going to happen.
Yeah.
That's what you
Yeah.
saw in your mind's eye.
I did, and to go. I remember trying to get on local shows, and they weren't happening, like local shows, and I just went straight to the top. Like, hey, I'm gonna shoot my shot, keep going, and it happened, and yeah, I mean, it just makes me feel like if I can do that, I can do anything. You know, I could persist in whatever I desire. I just keep trying, and those things will happen. So that's what he
For
gave me.
sure. And it's interesting. There's another little lesson I think in there. Sometimes we're not accepted in our own backyard.
Mm,
And
that's a good one. Yeah.
and it's that, the small shows, and you weren't even dreaming big enough then. And then, as you said, you just went right to the top. Like, why do I feel like I have to climb the ladder?
Mm,
Like, just catapult to the top, start at the top. I don't need to work my way up. And,
yeah.
and there's like these societal rules that you have to pay your dues, so to speak, to do the small stuff first, and then you can sort of work your way up. But not visionaries like you.
Yes. Quantum leaping, right, Debbie?
That's right. That's right.
Yes, ma'am.
So so in your bio, you talk a lot about, and your expertise is organizing. And so what do you feel, or can you explain the connection between organizing and mental health?
Oh, wow. Yes. So, um, when you think about, you walk into a room and say you worked all day, you walk into your mud room and there's shoes everywhere, there's backpacks thrown, there's laundry. You immediately get this invisible to-do list in your head, and it stresses a lot of people out. It gives you anxiety. It makes you feel guilty about what you need to do. And even if you had a bad day at work, it like piles it on. So I think that clutter and disorganization, when you see it visually in your home, when you even see it visually on your computer, like icons and your phone and emails, it's almost like it triggers something in your subconscious, in your mind, where you feel clutter as well. And there's a direct correlation between physical clutter and your mental clarity, which is why when you do have a home or a space that's clean and organized, you feel lighter, you feel more empowered, you feel ready to work. It's almost like you clear that clutter metaphorically, and it creates space mentally for you to do something else, do something new, move forward. So there is like a direct correlation between clutter and clarity. And when you remove the clutter, you have more clarity, um, literally and metaphorically as well. So definitely a relationship.
So that's beautiful. And I love how you've put those two C words together, and it just really helps people remember. And so, how did you first get into this? Like, what's your passion
Mhm.
for clarity and not having clutter or chaos?
Yes, yes. I discovered that the attraction to organization came as a child for me. I grew up in a household where there was chaos, trauma, abuse, some poverty, even in some cases. And so all I wanted as a child was stability. I just wanted to live somewhere for a while and go to the same school and not have to live in places that were new. I wanted that so bad as a child. So what I would do when I would play with dolls, I would create structure, right? I would create nuclear homes, structure, the way I organized, so I knew where things were. I would create that. And my mom also she was a very organized woman too, so I learned from her. But then when I became an adult, I realized that I built this life, thank God, where there's a lot of structure and stability. And it just became something I wanted to do more of. I wanted to help more people to organize their pantries, or to organize their offices, because I saw the end result. Like for me as a kid, it was like security. For adults, it became again that mental clarity where they felt better. They felt like They could be a better mom because they have a better pantry, or they could, have a better business because their office was organized. And so the same way the structure gave me joy as a child, I felt like I saw that with the clients, people that I was, it was really family and friends at the beginning, people I would help. And it became something that I thought, you know what, this is something that I feel like I enjoy doing, I'm good at, and it's helping people. And so that is how I got into it. And I found that it was just a great business for me because it's something that's needed and I enjoy doing it. And I can create wealth for my family as well. So, yeah.
And that's why you're on this show, because you are a major manifester. Something that you just said about stability, security, and when you do it in one place, it makes you feel like I'm a proud mom or that I'm a better business person.
Mm.
And so, do you believe the adage of how we do something somewhere is how we do it everywhere?
I do. I think my husband says, "How you do it, anything is how you do everything." He says it all the time
Mm-hmm.
with our kids. If you are throwing stuff in the mud room, you're probably going to be throwing stuff in your room. And how is your desk at school? And that pattern stays with you. I believe that because I have like actual proof. Clients that I work with physically to help them declutter. They're the same clients that I have digital organize. They still have the same patterns because we are creatures of habits and we are, believing that this is the way we should live and we are going to be. So I think that there is a connection again between like your physical space and your digital space and how those two are related. So definitely.
And so, because they're related, and then when you help your clients, whether it be in their physical space or digital space, recently you've just also joined the academy as a student vision boarding, which I'm so excited with you. So tell me a bit about your decision to join the academy, but also your connection between that and for people to create a vision and then goals.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I will first say that I was drawn to vision boarding because I have never made a vision board in my life where it didn't come true, everything on the board. So I already believed in vision boarding. I just let it go. I don't know why. Life was happening. Life was life, and I let it go. But when I saw you do it, and it just reminded me of how important it is. And my business right now works with digital organization, and I am very skilled at the strategy piece, implementation. But I'm always wondering about how people they lose their way a little bit, right? Like they have a strategy and then life gets busy and they forget, or they're implementing things and then things fall to the wayside. I feel like there was a missing piece in the process, right? The missing piece, I think, was the envisioning piece because that's what connects the head and the heart. And when you do have, busy seasons or chaos or whatever, you'll go back to your vision and say, okay, why am I doing this? I'm looking at my vision board. Why am I doing this? You come here and it's a focal point for your dreams, your goals, and you need that visual reminder. You can't just have strategy and implementation, even though it's needed, like you say, the action piece. You got to have that vision piece. So that's when I heard you speak, and we've been in the mastermind for a while, so I knew you were like the one. You were the guru of vision boarding. I wanted to learn how to incorporate that in my life, but also use it to really help my clients and to help people that I'm networked with. So I felt like this is a great opportunity to do that. So I'm excited about it.
So cool. So am I. And so you said that you're used to vision boarding. This wasn't something new, although you hadn't done it in a while. So can you tell us, you share something that you've manifested from your vision board that just blew
Yeah.
your mind?
Yeah, so I remember I had made like maybe 7 or 8 just line items of things that I wanted, and I put it on a vision board. I was praying to win a top award at work, right? I wanted to be President's Club Award winner. I had done it twice. I wanted to do it another time. I wanted for my niece to be able to get into her school of choice because she wanted to be in Houston. I was like, let's manifest this. I had some exercise and weight loss goals on there, like we all do. Like, let me work out. I had a goal about buying a home. And so those four for sure, I can't remember all seven, all came true. I won President's Club. We got it. We built a house. My niece got in school. It all just kind of worked together. And I, I just think that even though it wasn't like a daily practice of looking at the vision board, it was still intentional. Like, this is what I want. And it guided my actions. I was like, I'm going to win this. We're going to do this. And so it did help me with focusing on what my goals are. And I remember going back and like, I cannot believe that everything that I put on here just came true. It didn't even looked like it was going to happen, but it did. And so it was a very surreal moment for me when that
That's
happened.
exciting. So I'm curious about how you manifested that for your niece, but I
Mm.
suspect, I'm just curious, like, did you tell her that you put that on your vision board?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
You didn't tell her that.
Because I always told people, so maybe I'm wrong. I've always told people you can't manifest for someone else because it's their vibration, like it's
Oh,
their
that's
action. So like I gotta think about this one. This is really curious to me.
maybe I'm an anomaly. Maybe it's a one-off with me. I don't know, but
I don't know. You got some
she
special powers there.
did.
That's so cool. So what is one of or a couple of your number one organizing hacks?
mm, organizing hacks. Okay. So I always try to debunk myths. So this is
Yeah.
my favorite one to debunk, and it's the myth around multitasking. A lot of people, it's like a badge of honor that they can multitask, but I'm always steering people away from that because your mind is only capable of doing one task at a time. You have to you what's happening when you think you're multitasking is your brain is switching from one thing to the next. And when you commit to that type of work, it actually slows you down. It makes you more tired, and it makes you less productive. So one thing that I hack, so to speak, I would tell people is to, instead of doing multitasking work, do time blocking work where you spend time focused on one task that's similar, or a couple tasks that's very similar in order. So if you're doing, organizing your email, for example, block out 30 minutes just to do that. Don't go check your phone. Don't go search on YouTube. Don't go do something else. Just focus on that and time block it. And you'll be surprised how much more you get done when you do that instead of trying to do everything at once. So multitasking is a no-no. Also, as far as organizing, there's no one size fits all like system for everybody. So I always encourage people to really find out what you love to do and what you don't love to do when it comes to organizing. If you don't like the digital part, then don't you can outsource that. If you don't like the physical organize, you can outsource that. If you're more of a delegator, be a delegator. If you're more of someone who's a visualizer and likes to map out things to plan it out, do that. So really look within about what you do well and what brings you joy, right? And then focus on doing that because it's going to be different for everyone. So I spend time like really knowing the person and okay, what's going to work for them, and then we choose an organization system that's going to help you individually instead of trying to throw something at you. So those are two tips. You asked for three, yes?
Yeah. So one thing that I noticed was on your social media, because I follow you on social media, uh, is that you have a Sunday practice, right?
Oh, yes, yes. Ugh, I should have mentioned that. Yeah. So, you know, planning is just my jam. And so me and my actually one of my friends, we do this, we accountability partners, but we every Sunday we plan for the week. For me, that looks like syncing my family's calendar because I got all the things. I got to sync the calendars, make sure they're available. I use this thing called the YAG. It's super simple, year at a glance, where I go through and I look at week by week what's due, how do I need to prepare for it. I'll do time blocking and task blocking. Like Mondays are for this day, this theme, Tuesdays are for this, and then I'll align my team that way too. So everybody's working on marketing on Monday. Everybody's doing this on Tuesday. So yeah, using Sunday as a prep for me is a great way to set my week off, and I don't have the Monday blues. Don't want to go to work on Monday because I'm like, I know what I'm doing on Monday. We're good because I prepped the night before. So I encourage people to do that as well. That's Thanks for bringing
Yeah.
that up, Debbie.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I didn't know if that was a hack or, and it's interesting. Sometimes the things that we do just naturally and like you just incorporated as part of your habit, we step over and we're looking for the big thing that we do. What's the big,
yeah,
and it's really those daily things that
yeah.
you're doing that people can model and be inspired and go, oh, actually, it's simple, but it's not easy because it's about what you just did with that Drew Barrymore. It's persistence. Like
Mhm.
that's the key is like it's great for one week, but what if you could do it for every week? So every Sunday, like you get into creating a habit of that.
Yep,
Mhm.
yep, yep.
So you talked about being a mom, or it says in your bio that you're a mom. And
Yeah.
so it's been a while since I had little ones. Mine are all grown now, but I now have grandchildren. And so, how do you help your kids? 'Cause
Mm,
this is the part that as you said, sometimes you come home and it's like there's shoes all over and the backpacks are on the floor and it's
yeah.
like, ugh. Like how do you help your kids stay organized? Are there any tips for any listeners that have young kids?
It's a daily practice. I got one kid who's very organized, and the other one I'm like a broken record trying to get him in order. But so, give your kids some grace. They may not pick up your habits if you're organized. So that's the first thing. But I just try to include them in so many things. One thing that's a ritual, when we go to the grocery store, I grocery shop. My husband brings them in and lays them out. And then we take out the things that the kids can put away. So they know that everything comes out of the packages, all the boxes are broken down, so they literally know to take the little snack, because most of it's for them anyways, and they go to the pantry and they put it in the places that it belongs. So it's labeled, there's bins, so they'll help with the organization. It just helps them to know like processes and order. It helps them to be accountable, like you're helping. So we'll do that. We also do, visual chore charts. We do that around the house so they know, okay, checklist. Have I done everything for the morning or the evening? So yeah, you have to, they're not gonna come out knowing how to do these things. So don't expect them to like be in order and in line. You have to like show them as much as you can, in little ways, and then give them some tools like the boards. We have chore charts for my daughter, and make it fun. If you want to do a reward system, have fun with that because kids love that as well. But make it fun and allow them to have some independence, because I think that a lot of parents take that away from kids sometimes by trying to do it for them. You'd be surprised how much they can do if you just kind of hold their hand a little bit, show them how to do it, and it'll help you out as a mom too. So,
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. I think there's so much value in that answer, in
mhm,
that children, they want to feel like they're contributing. They want to feel like they belong,
mhm.
and that you value their intelligence, as you said, is like you are capable. And so
Yeah,
when we see children as capable, this is back from my earlier
I was
days,
gonna
like
say,
capable and
you're the
competent.
expert. Yes.
Well, this is so beautiful that you do that. I just want to acknowledge all of that, in that it's the organizing is giving them what you talked about, which you didn't have in your childhood, which is stability.
Yeah.
And so there's a sense that it's stable, it's safe, that
Mhm.
everything has its place. We know, so that also to know that there's food here, like they can see it going in there. It's not like if I open the cupboard, is there going to be food? Is there not going to be food? Like they're part of that process. I think this is just brilliant. And the foundations that you're setting is just so amazing for them as they grow into adults. And as the work that we do, and what we're doing around mindset, and how much of our inner child and values and opinions that we have about ourselves, about others, about the world around us, comes from those first few years. So creating
Yeah.
this beautiful, safe environment is just so key to their overall wellness.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for saying that.
Absolutely. Way to go. Good mom. That's amazing. That's amazing. Awesome mom. So I asked, or you gave the myths a bit, and so perhaps this might be redundant, but do you see an organizing mistake that people make? Like, is there a
Mm.
mistake that you're like, oh, if they only knew, they wouldn't need to suffer?
Yeah. So it's a joke, between us organizers, a little organizing humor. For the physical organization, so many times people get so excited about the shopping piece. They do that before they even know what's happening. So I have clients, and I'll joke with them because they'll say, "I went to the Container Store and I got bins." I was like, "What's going in the bins? Like, are they even the same size? Like, what's happening?" I give them a hard time because I'm like, "We're gonna probably take some of that back." So I always kind of say that's an organizing no is shopping before you even know what you need, what you're using it for, how big is the space? Like, can it even fit in there? But I get it. You're excited about that part because everybody's excited. I love that part. So I always tell people to, don't do that. And then when it comes to digital organizing, I feel like a mistake that a lot of people make is not knowing that it doesn't have to be like that. Like, you don't have to have 10,000 emails in your inbox. You don't have to like avoid it like the plague. I know that digital organization is like a new thing, right? It's like something, I mean, you never had anyone digitally organize your space, but there are so many tools, apps, AI, so much technology that can help you to live a more productive life and have a more productive business and communicate better and lead your team better. So I'm always telling people, like, it doesn't have to be that way. There are tools you can use to elevate your productivity. So just getting the word out there and helping people see like the blueprint, like the how, is a big thing that we try to talk about in the organizing world. So
Yeah, as you're saying that, well, two things. First, my husband and I had probably one of like an argument one time because he had gone to, like, in Canada we have Canadian Tire, it's like a hardware store, and he came in with all of these like rubber made totes, like huge, and they were like not see-through, like they were like these sturdy, and I'm like, exactly that. I'm like, what are we putting in there? Like, how are we going to know what's in there? Like, I'm gonna have to label everything. Like, we didn't even. And
yeah,
he was all proud of himself for these
yes,
rubber totes, and I was like,
for your effort,
please,
but
please go back. And then
right,
the other thing that you said about digital, sometimes I've had it and I'm just like, oh, like I see a buried email and I'm like, I never got back to that person. I opened it up and then I got busy and then it just got buried. And then there's probably hard feelings or I've lost a sale because of it.
yeah,
Like, there's just so much about, like you said, digital clutter. So it used to be piled on our desk, and we would have to make piles and then things would get lost, mail, bills not paid or whatever. But
mhm,
now it's just the digital piece. So I can really see how that would be helpful, as you said, to make your business that much more efficient and
yeah,
and not missing opportunities.
yeah, yeah. There's so many things you could do. I see people that are like bouncing around between one tool, one system, grabbing this here, searching, and I'm like, we can make this a little more streamlined for you. And it does seem like a foreign concept. That's because that's not what you are doing or what you're used to doing, but it can be done. And so it's just, finding ways to educate people and then help them. And they're just sitting back like, wow, I didn't even know that this existed. And I'm like, I know. I mean, it's so much out there. Let's get to it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So going back to the idea that I interview giant manifestors on this podcast. So you talked about your childhood. Was there an adult who spoke into you as a child
Hmm.
that gave you the hope, the bigger vision for this life that you're living today?
Yeah. I was fortunate enough to have many adults. Um, I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for those teachers, church leaders, even my family, my aunts and uncles who saw something in me, and then gave me hope. Like, we didn't have a lot of money, but my mom, they instilled hope in me almost to a fault because I grew up thinking that I could do anything I wanted to do or set my mind to do. And so when I saw the value in education because my cousin at the time, he was a lot older, he would, tell me about what could be achieved if you exceed academically. And he rewarded me for that. So that gave me the drive for academics. And then I would meet people at church who had went to college, right? I was a first generation college student, and they would tell me about, what college would look like and how you can, go across the country and be around students. And so I was exposed to that, and they helped me along the way. And then in my adult life, just mentors who, poured into me, gave me advice, took me under their wing, showed me the way, which is why I'm so passionate about mentorship too. We talked about this with my sister's nonprofit, helping us help her, because I know what that's like to have someone see you when you don't even know what you have going on and be able to help pull it out of you and just give you opportunities. It's nothing for me to connect them or to show them something that I know. And I think that's how people felt about me. But to me, it meant everything. Like, oh my gosh, like you're gonna help me, And so it was just several adults. I don't have one. I have my mom and my sister are probably the most significant ones because they are just, raising me and making sure I have opportunities given when they don't even have to give. And so, but overall, I just have been really fortunate to have so many mentors, even today still. I still have good mentors. So, yeah.
Yes, yes, beautiful. So you mentioned a bit about the not-for-profit. So I'd like to just start there because I know that that's on your heart as well, part of your vision. As
Hmm.
you know, you've shared with me your vision. So maybe you could share with the listener a bit about that charity or that organization that's close to your heart. But then
Yeah.
also, is there something else on your vision board that you can share that you're really excited about for 2024?
Yes. Okay. So, 15 years ago, my sister formed Helping Us Help Her. She was actually, it's Teen Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and she was a victim of teen domestic violence when she was 16. And I saw some of that play out when she became an adult and she had daughters. Her daughter, she wanted to be able to create a safe space for her daughter and other girls because they would come to her and share things with her they didn't share with their mom or their sisters. Maybe they didn't have that. So Helping Us Help Her was born because she wanted to create a place where the girls felt safe, they felt empowered, they knew what their rights were, they knew what they should and shouldn't accept. And it's grown to now offer community service activities, retreats, galas, again, to me, domestic violence awareness events. And one aspect of it is now that it's been in existence for so long, there's a lot of older girls, which we call her elites. And I have taken the charge to be a director of the mentorship program so that once they graduate out, they now have access to professional and business owner mentors to connect with them and help them navigate young adulthood and be a resource. And so it's important for me because, again, these girls may not have anybody else. I had my sister, but they may not have anyone to do this for them. And so I want to be able to have that a safe space for them, but also for the young men as well. Helping us help him will hopefully be something that we do. So it's just near and dear to my heart. I see the impact, and I know what that feels like, and I've been blessed to be able to have resources and a drive to do it. So I'm gonna keep trying to share it with more people and help it grow.
Very cool. Is there a website or how can
Yes.
people find that?
So the acronym for Helping Us Help Her is HUHH. And so you can visit HUD.org and find out everything that we're doing and be involved. Love to have you involved. You're
Very
welcome.
cool. And what else is on your vision board? What else is lighting you up this year?
I look at this board every day. I walk up
Beautiful.
to Debbie. I walk up to it at least twice a day, and I have it in my head, ingrained in my head. But with my cup of coffee, and it just it's serene. It's like serenity. Like I feel like it came from within, and it just feels so. It feels big and scary, but it also feels like just peaceful at the same time. I don't know how to explain it, but I have one thing that I'm excited about is what I envision for my business being a speaker, speaking more on large stages where I can connect with people and share some insight that they're going to say, "Dang, that was really good. I'm going to do that." Or, "Wow, I didn't know that existed." Like if you walk away feeling like that, I'm going to feel like I won. I'm like, because that's what I just want you to take that pearl and apply it, and it changes something in your life for the better. And I see myself doing that on stages, whether it's, TED Talk, corporate events, my podcast. And so I'm excited about that. And I have a couple pictures that where I'm showing how the client feels excited, but I'm also like reflecting in gratitude that have this opportunity to share this gift. So I'm excited about the business. I have some goals for my family as well. So it's just a well-rounded, vision board that I'm manifesting.
Absolutely. And so I also believe with you about the speaking, and you are an accomplished speaker. You have your own podcast. So for anyone that's listening, and if you're looking for someone to impact your business, your life, you work for corporate, or you've got a group of women or men that could really benefit from, what you heard today, that Day is sharing. It's just so practical and yet so complex in that how we do something. What did your husband say? How we do something,
Anything is how you do everything.
everything, right?
You don't love
And
this.
so,
He loves
yeah. And so for her having this beautiful, inspiring message, reach out to her. So what's the best way for people to get a hold of you, Day?
You can visit me on my website at Simplicity by Day, that's DAY.com. And that is also my handle on Instagram. And I'm also on LinkedIn at Dai Smith. Love to connect you on any of those platforms, and you can learn more about what I do and how we can serve each other.
Fabulous. And we'll have all of that in the show notes for you to connect. And I just think you are amazing. And I am so blessed that I manifested you, and that we manifested this beautiful relationship, that you're part of the Academy. And so are there any final words as before we sign off?
I have a strong connection to mompreneurs, women who are raising families and running businesses, and that's you too. I'm sure you draw a lot of women in like that. But even if you're a male and you have someone like that in your life, I just feel like it is a beautiful thing to be able to have a dream and to achieve it in the presence of raising a family, because of the gift that you give to your family, but also the inspiration that you can be to other women, other moms. And that's what I've been. And so if you're a mom or mompreneur listening, take the visioning that you have for your life, put some action around it, because you never know who you can bless, who you can impact in doing that. So
For sure. Most importantly, your family.
mm-hmm.
So I think you and I have talked about this, where it's sometimes women feel guilty because they feel like they're taking away from their family, but by being the mompreneur and by having that beautiful blend of making a difference in the world, like you're sending such a beautiful message to your kids, the way that they're organizing their cupboards, like helping you put away the groceries, to watching mom be successful and be on shows like international syndicated shows with celebrities, wow, and if mom can do it, so can I. So beautiful. Thanks so much for being here, Day. It's just been a pleasure, and I just wish you so much success.
Thank you so much. This was an honor and a privilege. I appreciate you and the platform you have here.
Today, we've delved into the realm of manifesting giants, exploring the power of declaring our desires to the universe with unapologetic boldness. But before we bid adieu, I have a little something special to share with all of you dreamers out there. Introducing the Dare to Declare Vision Board magazine and online DIY Vision Board course, your ticket to manifesting greatness in style. Picture this: flipping through pages filled with inspiring images, empowering quotes, and step-by-step guides to help you create the vision board of your dreams. Whether you're yearning for that spacious condo with a view, or a love that sets your soul on fire, our magazine is here to guide you every step of the way. Dive deep into the art of manifesting with our exclusive online DIY vision board course. Led by manifesting expert, yes, yours truly, and seasoned dreamers, this course will teach you the ins and outs of creating a vision board that speaks to your heart and soul. So what are you waiting for? Join the ranks of the manifesting giants and dare to declare your wildest dreams to the universe. Head over to our website, debbiesluice.com and grab your copy of the Dare to Declare Vision Board magazine and enroll in our online DIY Vision Board course today. Until next time, keep dreaming big and daring to declare, because in the world of manifesting, the sky's the limit.